Um, okay, so I'm going to be talking about about my experience of being a vegan. Now, a lot of vegans have been commenting on comments that I've made on videos when I say that being vegan almost killed me. They can't seem to grasp what I'm saying. And it's so funny because over the last, I don't know, week or so, I get the same comments over and over again. And it's like vegans are just programmed with a few responses. Like, for example, you obviously wasn't eating right, you were doing veganism wrong, that kind of thing. I mean, every single vegan said that. And yeah, that's unfortunately for you not true, because my parents were concerned that I was becoming that because I wanted to become vegetarian. I turned vegetarian at 12, and then soon after I turned vegan. They weren't happy with me being vegan because they were worried about my health. Now, I was a healthy, normal 12-year-old going into this veganism, and they took me to the doctor. I had my health, I had a health checkup, and I was fine. I was healthy. I was, just like any other 12-year-old. And so they got advice on what I should be eating if I insisted on becoming a vegan, which I did. And I also had a book as well, something, I can't remember what it's called, something like The Teenage Guide to Veganism or something like that. So my parents were obviously the ones that were bringing me up, so they prepared all my meals. I always monitored what I was being given because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't consuming any animal products. I mean, like, I always checked what oil was being used, that kind of thing. I always checked the ingredients of, like, I don't know, bread, for example, that sort of thing. Always made sure that I wasn't getting any animal products. And slowly, I became very withdrawn, depressed. My skin became dry. My hair started to fall out. My eyes were dull. My periods were just all over the place. I mean, yes, okay, I was 12, between the ages of 12 and 14. I mean, your periods aren't, going to be perfect then, but I started when I was 9, 10, something like that. And then 2 or 3 years later, only since becoming a vegan, I had issues. So I was basically lacking a lot of nutrients, which I wasn't getting from the vegan diet. They put me on supplements. The doctor gave me like vitamins, like a multivitamin thing that was recommended for vegans. It just didn't do anything at all. I mean, my hair was dry and was breaking and falling out. My nails were soft, breaking, and I was just in a mess, and I couldn't really understand it because, you know, I was on this apparently amazingly healthy diet, and it literally just wasn't making me healthy. So I went on holiday with my parents and my brother, and I was 14 at the time, and I was walking down a flight of stairs, and I literally collapsed. I fell down. I was halfway down the stairs. I collapsed. I fell down the stairs, and when I got to the bottom, I thankfully didn't go through a glass door, but I was leaning I landed against a glass door, and I passed out again. So luckily there was a doctor on site in the actual hotel, and he basically sent a wheelchair to come and get me because I wasn't conscious pretty much. So he checked me over and he said, yeah, your blood pressure has, you know, completely plummeted, dangerously low. And basically, if I had not had a doctor on site, I wouldn't have made it to the hospital because the hospital was like 20 minutes away, and I would have died in that time. So I don't know what he did. Obviously, he did what he needed to do. He gave me an injection, or a few injections, told me to start eating better, and he actually sent up some whole like breakfast. I was on my way down to breakfast, and he sent up this whole hamper full of breakfast foods, like meats, cheeses, that kind of things, with a little note saying, you know, start eating properly. Still didn't touch it, still didn't want to do it. It took me a while to actually get back into eating meat, but eventually I did. And yeah, I became a hell of a lot healthier. Yes, vegans are not going to believe, they're not going to agree with it. They've got their blinkers on and they're like, no, you did it wrong. No. Guys, just get a grip. It may be the perfect diet for you, but it isn't for everyone. And like I said, you know, not one of these vegans that is claiming to be like, you know, you're doing it wrong, blah, blah, blah. Not one of these people are actual nutritionists or even remotely trained in any kind of medical field. And yet they're carrying on messaging me and giving me all this bullshit, basically, because what the hell makes them think that I'm going to listen to them? You know, someone who is so blinkered, they can't accept the fact that something bad can come out of veganism. They just can't comprehend that. They won't listen to another word. They won't listen to anything that is bad, you know, where they can't comprehend that there is something not perfect about their lifestyle. And that is the kind of people that, you know, I would never take advice from, because it's all done with an agenda. They're all robots. They all say the same thing. Constant, you know, oh, you do your research, you should get educated. Yeah, well, guess what? I've had healthcare professionals. I have a nutritionist that I talk to. And guess what? You know, what you're telling me is just advice that isn't given by a healthcare professional. And I'm not going to believe you over a healthcare professional. Especially when I've lived through the vegan diet myself and it almost killed me. Yeah, I just feel sorry for them because, well, they're blind, obviously.